It's a way to remember the macronutrients required for life. C H O P K N S C A F E M G. And this was I had an ecology professor at the university who helped me remember what the macronutrients for life, the required atoms were. And so he has this mnemonic called C. Hopkins Cafe Mighty Good. And I was hoping you could just take some brief notes on that. It'll actually launch us into talking about matter and ecosystems, talking about algae blooms and things like that. So let's start that assignment and try to wrap our heads around this mnemonic and talk a little bit about these atoms. And this will be a nice bridge into diagrams for cycles of matter. So check it out. Okay, so we are starting Roman numeral 4A, matter in ecosystems. As opposed to energy. Now, we've been studying energy in ecosystems. And I want you to consider this for a second. Energy in ecosystems is a one-way path. It leaves the sun, hits our planet, plants store it into carbon and grab that energy for a little while, but the end result of all the energy that hits our planet is that the high energy light from the sun hits the planet, life slows it down for a while, keeps it on the planet for longer, but eventually all of the light that is absorbed by the planet and captured by producers and consumed by consumers, all of it is eventually lost as heat. So energy in ecosystems is a one-way path. It enters extraterrestrially from the sun, and eventually, after life slows it down and grabs onto it for a little while, it leaves our planet as heat. As opposed to matter in ecosystems, and this is profound, hold on to your seat, matter in ecosystems is a cycle. With the exception of a few molecules that might escape Earth's gravity out in the exosphere, the atoms that make up you and I are so durable and so thoroughly recycled that the carbon atoms that make up you were here when the planet was formed. In fact, we've read in several different places, I think Bill Bryson writes about this, that the carbon atoms in your body, there are a few that are more than likely once part of a dinosaur. And the idea is these little particles are so durable and so thoroughly recycled upon death that you probably have some carbon atoms in you from Shakespeare and Genghis Khan. And Bill Bryson writes, no matter how much you wish it were true, Elvis hasn't been gone long enough. You aren't quite yet one with Elvis Presley, which I thought was funny. Anyways, here is the mnemonic that we were given for matter and ecosystems. So the idea that these little atoms that make up you have been on the planet since there was a planet. So I just really like the saying, C. Hopkins Cafe. It's mighty good. And how does that help us remember the macronutrients for life? There's a lot of micronutrients for life that we're not going to talk about, but this is going to help us remember just the required atoms. So this unpacks to C. Hopkins Cafe. It's mighty good. Here's what it is. C for carbon. H O P K N S. Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, potassium, nitrogen, sulfur. Your body is mainly made up of the CHO. These are the organic compounds, the carbon chains and rings with oxygens hanging off them that are saturated with hydrogens. The carbohydrates and proteins and fats and lipids are all built from these carbon-based structures. So the vast majority of your mass comes from these first three. But without phosphorus or potassium or nitrogen or sulfur, you would have no DNA. You would have no proteins. And so you think about these being very important. So that's C. Hopkins. But then we also have calcium, which is a lot of times used in chemical communications between cells and things like that. We have iron. This is what spells cafe. So we have the calcium. Iron is actually required by all life. Life can't exist without it. Iron is used in just a wide variety of metabolic processes. And then mighty good is magnesium. And without magnesium, magnesium is used in enzymes. And enzymes are proteins that fold up on themselves. And enzymes are the doers. Enzymes, you have these enzyme-catalyzed oxidation reduction reactions that make everything happen. And so these are the macromolecules that are required for life. And when we're studying the cycles of matter, you're going to draw a carbon cycle, you're going to draw a hydrologic cycle, which will be H2O, you're going to draw a phosphorus cycle, but we're not really going to draw potassium, but you'll certainly draw a nitrogen cycle. And we'll talk about how these atoms are circulated around the planet. So thinking about C, H, and O, these are all our organic molecules. So all your body structures are mainly built from these organic molecules. You think about glucose. You think about also inorganic things like CO2 and H2O. Plants take that in and use that for making molecules. Of course, oxygen, which we breathe. The phosphorus, potassium, and nitrogen, these are found in your DNA. They make up the amino acids that link together to make your proteins. And if you haven't had biology yet, I always taught biology as proteins are the secret to life. They do just about everything. They make your chemical reactions occur. And out of all of the whole collection, the only ones that are gaseous or exist in a gaseous state, that means these are the only ones that can be delivered by air, are carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. The others all have to be taken in by plants dissolved in water. And so these can be taken in by plants through the air, but everything else has to be consumed by plants. Every one of these macronutrients is only available to consumers like us because plants have taken them in and stored them in their bodies. And then either we eat plants or we eat organisms that ate plants to get our share. So plants get the CHON from the air, and then plants get all the other stuff is dissolved in water. So let's just write that down. Plants get all the macronutrients and this is C. Hopkins Cafe, mighty good. All their macronutrients, either from the air or they're dissolved in water. And that is the beginning of our matter. We're going to talk about why it matters so much. So here is the statement. This is opposed to micronutrients. Micronutrients are things that you need in very, very small amounts. These are the macronutrients. Macro meaning big, the important ones. And we'll talk about those in a bit. Thanks a lot, and I hope you enjoyed the videos today. Bye.